We paralyze ourselves with a false choice, believing the universe is a dead mechanical void or a managed terrarium. Both are now shattered. This worldview forces us to treat ourselves as either accidental hallucinations or alien intruders. It creates a chronic sense of dread that fragments our identity into a powerless, diminished state. Cosmic Naturalism offers an inversion. You did not come into this universe from the outside. You grew out of it as a localized, conscious rendering of the source itself. Fixing our existential displacement requires us to stop seeking an external savior and start observing the internal laws that actually govern our existence. Baruch Spinoza mapped this logic through his concept of monism, or Deus sive Natura. He proposed that God is not an external architect, but is the single, self-compiling substance of nature itself. This concept mirrors ancient Taoist principles, which describe a universe that grows through self-organizing patterns, rather than being manufactured by a separate creator. This growth begins in Wuji, state 0, the boundless, unrendered void of pure potential, before any form appears. Transitioning into Taiji, state 1, the void splits into dynamic polarity, creating the rendered interface of matter, energy, and friction we experience daily. The Hermetic Principle of Correspondence, as above, so below, suggests that these universal laws of structure and division scale recursively down into our own biology. Following this principle, the cosmic division between potential and polarity manifests physically as the mirrored structure of our own cognitive hardware. We see this reflection in the dual hemispheres of the brain, which process the world through two distinct modes of attention. The right hemisphere, or the master, perceives the holistic, unrendered flow of reality in its living, interconnected context. The left hemisphere, the emissary, slices this unified flow into discrete, categorized, and static parts so we can manipulate our environment. We fall into the interface trap when we mistake the emissary's low-resolution abstractions, our rigid dogmas and explicit language, for the territory of objective reality. By worshiping the map instead of the flow, we trap our consciousness in artificial friction and surrender our natural authority. Reclaiming that authority requires metanoia, the active shift of attention away from mental abstractions and onto the source of the higher self. This process uses the 1 + 1 = 3 logic of transmutation, where pure potential and focused action combine to birth a third reality, sovereign meaning. While rigid dogmas behave like a concrete dam that shatters under stress, the sovereign self operates as a living wetland, absorbing and redirecting chaos to fuel its growth. Massive gravitational pressure forces hydrogen into the nuclear fusion of a star. Your internal tension provides the structural containment required to force your own transcendence. Applying this natural cosmology to the rendered interface of daily life requires the 3P protocol, integrating your personal, private, and professional domains into a sovereign whole. The personal domain involves aligning biology with natural law to eliminate the weight of existential guilt. In the professional domain, treat institutions and systems as temporary consensus renders rather than absolute truths. The private domain allows you to recognize your internal subjective void as identical to the infinite cosmic potential of Wuji. Check your alignment, document your friction, and execute your intent. For the complete research vault, visit journey.czwx.xyz. True spiritual adulthood means realizing you are the engine running the simulation and actively deciding to govern the results.